So, me.
You call me by my name, Orc, or I'll tie you down, rip you bone from bone, and force feed you to yourself, then feed you to Mr. B.
Davy?
Close enough.
What you do? Like, for fun?
I used to box when I got time and money. I go to the range. Sometimes I put together and paint models, and I play tabletop games. I also talk about RPGs and tabletop games.
Oh, you know games? Tell me about one.
I do need to review something. Alright, why not? Let's talk about a science fiction game that's meant to be a parody on Star Wars, Starship Trooper, and, well, obviously, Warhammer. What game am I talking about?
What game?
You're gonna interject a lot, huh? Paranoia, a rather well-priced game that is stupid hard to get your hands on. I literally found this out of crazy luck. And while looking into it literally a week ago, I found out that Mongoose Publishing originally sold the red clearance box set for $50, but I know I paid about $30 and their website sells it for about that too. But everything else is like $9 US, so the game is very well priced. Now, what is this game? Imagine Warhammer. You're part of the Imperium, but everything is comedy. The box I have has 3 books, a bunch of dry erase character sheets, and a bunch of cards and 5 dice. The books are what we're mostly concerned with. It comes with a player's handbook, the mission book, and the game master handbook. Now, this game essentially is a totalitarian government using you to do whatever job they so desire. You're a clone. If you die, you get rebuilt as a clone, punished for leaving your position via death, and then they make another clone to send you out to work. Take nothing serious. You'll have a blast. Paint it white, Garlic.
I do like boom.
Yeah, I know. This game has 5 steps to making a character. Core info is your name, security clearance, clone number, home sector, gender, personality, yada yada. Part 2 is trees and stars, which is how the computer, which I think is the GM, trusts you. Stats and skills will come next. Moxie is how much control your character has over themselves, high meaning calm and unshakable. A memory seems to essentially be the memories you carry into your next clone. Neat. Your stats can range from a score of 0 to 4, and are violence, brains, mechanics, and chutzpah. If you don't know what that last word means, I feel old. But being better than the computer is considered treason. There's 4 skills for every stat, which are as follows. Violence has athletics, guns, melee, and throw. Brain has science, psychology, bureaucracy, and alpha complex. Chutzpah has bluff, charm, intimidate, and stealth. And mechanics has operate, engineer, program, and demolitions. You can create more if you want, and the game recommends you do it and create a treason. Now that we've got all that explained, let's go into character creation. First step is the first part of the character sheet. Who is your character? Most of this is your run-of-the-mill stuff. Except for security clearance, that's decided by your GM when you make a character. You also need to choose 3 words to describe your character's personality. The clone number is really the only part of this that'll change. Every time your character dies, you add 1 to that, and you start at 1. Death is a fun aspect of this game because it means very little. Skills are next, and this is a bit of a mess. Okay, this is supposed to be complicated, so let me draw a chart here. On the left is player 1. They pick 1 stat and add to 1. player on the right is 2. They put the same number as a negative in the same place. 2 does what 1 did, choosing a stat to add 1, 2, while the next in the circle, 3, subtracts 1 from the same skill. Then 3 chooses a stat to add, which 4 subtracts, then 4 adds, 1 subtracts, and this goes on until everyone has added and subtracted 1. We repeat this process but with a plus and minus 2. This will continue over and over again until the cycle is complete with a plus and minus 5. And each skill can only be taken once, so you cannot add a plus 5 to a minus 2 and get a total of plus 3. If you got shafted, let that brew and use that hate against someone. No, seriously, the game promotes that stuff because death has no meaning.
Like us orcs.
Exactly, you're getting it, Golic. Now, if we have too many players, this process could honestly end a lot sooner than it should. So, this is really one of those games where there is a player maximum. Now for stats. Your friends have already chose what your stats are. Count the number of positive skills that you have under the banner and write it down. Now, the book sort of butchers the wording by saying add up the number, which confused the hell out of me. You'll then hand your sheet and the notes of the numbers to the player that you just gave a bunch of negatives to, which the book says you hand to the left-hand side, but the person you gave a bunch of negatives to should be on your right, if I remember correctly. Now, they'll choose which stat will go where, which number will go where. You can either be nice, or you may fuck them over. Yeah, either way, have fun with that. Next is Optimism. You get 8 Moxie points and 6 clones, but you can sacrifice these to boost any skills. You can burn 1 of each to a maximum of 5 in order to raise a skill by 1 up to 5, none of the skills being over a plus 5. Now, you start as clone 1 of 6. Once you run out of clones, you're dead. You cannot come back. You are done. And if you have a low Moxie, you also may not be able to control your own character. Your character may freak out over minor things or do a bunch of other shit. At minimum, you have 1 clone and 3 Moxie left after the Optimism thing. I wouldn't recommend really using the Moxie. Have fun with being a screwed over character, man. Details are GM given. They tell you a bit about your clearance level or equipment, but they may also give you a secret society or a mutant power card face down. You'll then give your character sheet to the guy to your left again, which again kind of screws over the go to the right, but whatever. And he'll look at your personality and choose one of those well-crafted adjectives you wrote down, and now flip it to the opposite. Reading a thesaurus might have been a good idea, honestly. Honestly, this game is a lot of backstabbing fun with no real risk, but a whole lot of reward. It can be a bit spiteful with the game actively telling you to fuck the other guys at the table, but a little harmless fun could be good if you have a good group. This book is so open, it pretty much allows anything, but gives enough direction so there's no need to worry about it too much. I give this game an 86%. Most of my negativity comes from how hard it was for me to get my hands on it nearly after 2 years of looking in every game store I could find, and how badly worded the game is. Any questions, Golic?
If painting a truck red makes it go faster, and blue makes it lucky, but purple makes it sneaky, what would happen if I painted a truck with stripes?
Man, you're the orc. How the hell should I know? Go ask your weird boys or something and shove off.